FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Dr. David E. Smith, founder of the Haight-Ashbury Free Medical Clinic, it wasn't a case of you seeking out the summer of love in San Francisco as much as the summer of love came to you. As I understand it, you had inherited a home right there in the neighborhood, correct?
Yes, I have a very different background than these gentlemen.
For the radio audience, he's the only one wearing a tie this evening.
But it's a Fillmore psychedelic tie. But I've lived in Haight-Ashbury since 1960 when I started medical school, and interacted and admired these gentlemen during that period of time. I wish they would have recorded the backstage with all the stories that were flying around. But I was doing drug research at UC San Francisco. I was a local LSD expert and was taking LSD and white mice, and then I would walk home at night. And I was also running the alcohol and drug abuse screening unit at San Francisco. So I was there. In fact, at age 68, father of 4, grandfather of 3, I can remember 67 better than I can remember yesterday. It was an incredible time. And what my recollections were that there was these hundreds of thousands of kids coming in. And I think one of the things that the audience must recognize is the Haight-Ashbury had a rich history way before the Summer of Love. I think that's lost in all of this recent expose. The Upper Haight-Ashbury was very politically active. They had the, quote, party people. Terrence Hallinan and his father were there. The American labor movement started there with Harry Bridges. And I'm so different in the background of these gentlemen because I didn't have one shred of political activism in my background. I was a physician, scientist, aimed for academic medicine, but I got my education in the Haight-Ashbury because I would come home and there was Terrence Hallinan from San Francisco State talking about Mississippi Freedom registered for voting. Well, you know, with Paul and Scoop and Wavy, they knew all about that. I didn't. My grandparents were farm workers from Oklahoma. It's the farthest thing in my mind from political activism. But I learned about segregated health care. That's where I got the idea that coining the term health care is a right, not a privilege, which I coined the starting of the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinics. So it was an incredibly rich and fertile time, but I remember coming home, and probably Wavy was there, because when you talk with Wavy, he talks, you listen. And but it was like this human being, and everybody was tripping, and there was Timothy Leary and Allen Ginsberg, and then there was, everybody's passing the electric acid Kool-Aid test. He put LSD in Kool-Aid, and remember, I was the one that said this is a very powerful drug, and you got to be careful. Well, everybody's putting it in the Kool-Aid, and there was a guy in the back having a death rebirth experience, and I went, something's going on here, you know. It was a totally mind-blowing experience, and I think the cultural history, how it's impacted on the mainstream of society has been lost. The first light show I ever saw was a simulated LSD experience by Dick Ham, just outside the Haight-Ashbury. Bill Ham, yeah. I remember walking down there, and there's some old timers that remember that. That was before all of this mainstream things, and it was incredible. And that simulated the light shows with Bill Graham, who's the one that did all the benefits for us. And I went to the city and said, all these hippies are coming, they don't have health care, and they said, well, we can't start a clinic because they'll just stay, and we don't want them to stay. And I had learned from Terrence Hallinan that that's not the right thing to do after spiritual experience I had. So they said, well, if you start a private doctor's office, you can call it anything you want. So 558 Clayton Street was the David E. Smith, MD, and Associates doing business at the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic. And the associates were some of the strangest associates you've ever seen in your life. And that was the beginning. We had about a month's survival time, and Bill Graham, who I think history has not given him a fair shake either. He had a heart of gold. If you were on his side, he organized all our benefits. He's the one that got Jefferson Airplane, Creedence Clearwater, Grateful Dead. He's the one that basically did the benefits. George Harrison, Ravi Shankar. He's the one that did the benefits to keep
And Chet Helms, please.
And Chet Helms is great too.
Yeah. Well,
Avalon and those things. That was the beginning of the free clinic movement that's now spread nationwide, over 2,000 free clinics nationwide. That was the beginnings of the field of addiction medicine, and I just want to make sure that the social action out of the Haight doesn't get lost when we're talking about the cultural aspects. Some incredible things went on there.
very good.